Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Mr. Z and Fifth with your host, Zach Kias and the Fifth General. What up, man?
Hey, what up? What's good to be here? Definitely. Thanks for
Yeah.
tuning in, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah.
It's been quite the couple of days, also including today that we're recording. Our shows are pre-recorded for those who still don't know. We've had some days ago, the legend, football player, athlete, and activist. Let's don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Yes.
Our brother. Go ahead, Zacchaeus. Say his name.
Jim Brown.
Absolutely.
Jim Brown. We say it loud. Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Athlete. Movies. He did quite a few movies I've seen him in. One of my several movies. One of my favorite films, I have to say, was I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I'm back in 89,
Classic.
88 when that came classic. And I enjoyed that film so much that I had to watch it more than one time. It was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim Brown was in it. Jim Brown was
was
one of the main stars in it,
He was.
And
original gangster.
Original gangster, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was he in 3 the Hard Way? I don't want to get that confused. He might not have been. I don't want to confuse that with Fred the William.
The Hammer. Fred the William Hammer.
Yeah. Let me look at his movies. But yeah, go ahead, Zacchaeus.
Yeah, so we paid tribute and honor to Jim Brown. Jim Brown was not only an actor / football player, NFL player. I know he played for the Cleveland Browns back in the 60s and 70s, but he also was an activist. Mm-hmm. He also teamed up with Muhammad Ali, legendary, the late great Muhammad Ali. He was good friends with him, good friends with Sam Cooke, the late great Sam Cooke. Also connected with Malcolm X, and some occasions he connected with Malcolm X. So Jim Brown was an activist, spoke vocally about injustice during the civil rights movement as a football player, and all-star Hall of Famer for the NFL. And I see him in the Cleveland Brown jerseys too. So
absolutely
legendary.
He was in. I was right. He was in 3
the Hard Way. The film, classic film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot to name. He was in Mars Attack in Sunday. Slaughter, a couple blaxploitation movies, Black Gun.
Yes.
Look, that's, but let's talk about his career. So he kind of if we're talking football, man, this is somebody that many people go to in the sports world. We acknowledge him for all of his accomplishments, but in the sports world, I mean, he was a champion, NFL champion in 1964, 3 times MVP. Played for the Cleveland Browns, 1957 to 1965. All Pro, 8 times All Pro. First team, second team All Pro, 9 times Pro Bowl. NFL rushing, 8 times NFL rushing yards leader. 5 NFL rushing touchdowns leader. I mean, NFL scoring leader. All-time 75th anniversary, 100th anniversary. He went to Syracuse. I didn't even know
that. Yeah.
I didn't know that. He went to Syracuse, 1954 to 1956. It was
I didn't know that. Wow.
6th pick in the first round of the 1957 draft. This man was great all around. Just an overall honorable human being. You know what I'm saying? So rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family.
Yes.
I mean, what more can we say?
Yeah,
What more
condolences to the
can we
family of
say?
Jim Brown.
And you know, he was with Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know, as far as his activism work, other than just like because I know we mentioned Ali, and you know, he also was opposed to the Vietnam War and the draft. I mean, it's just a lot goes on. A lot goes on, and you know, he will definitely be missed.
Definitely, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, he will definitely be missed. The good thing is that he passed away of old age. You know, it's worse when you're going too soon. Like, you know, and you know what I mean by that. You know, you got a lot of people who, you got a lot of, you know, sadly, it's worse when we got to talk about people who die young.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
He was 87 years old. 87. So not, you know, that's he had longevity before he went, and you know, that's, you know, but he'll be missed because, like I said, his legacy lives on through many people, through all sports, not just football. I feel like his inspiration is throughout all sports for the sports part of him, and then when it comes to his activism, that's a legacy that lives on too.
Yes, that's the legacy that lives on. Yeah.
And then from his acting, that lives on as well because there are many professional athletes who, who, you know, there are many people who did their hands in different things. They've done acting, they've done sports, they've done, they've done music, they've done this. Like,
yes,
you can name some, and the activism on top of that. You can name so many people who've had their hands in multiple works, and been able to be well accomplished in all of those works. That's difficult to do.
That's very difficult to do. That's hard. That's hard to be unique and you be good in everything, in a lot of the hands you have in a lot of activities and hands you have in things. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to do, to master it. Yeah. And he got acting down. Yes, he did. Yes.
He worked just as hard at his acting career that he did with football. I mean, most of his and with activism, and most of his accomplishments that we could highlight, yes, are sports. But keep in mind, this man was a very influential man. For the most part, he stood on a square. Now, if there's anything that man has said that some may disagree with, I mean, that's fine. I mean, he's a human. There are things there are things that people are not going to agree with.
Right.
You understand? And that's fine. But overall, I respect his life. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have anything bad to say about Jim Brown, especially not right now.
Yeah. Jim Brown, yes. We're going to miss him. Condolences to his family. And all right, rest in power to Jim Brown. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another more sad news, but we just got to look at it this way.
Yeah.
As of May 24th, we have found out that another legend Tina Turner has passed away.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so sad. I just found out in the afternoon. Yes.
Yeah, 83 years old.
83 years old. Yeah. Tina Turner, legend. What's love got to do it? To do it. You know. Yeah. What's love? Then second that. Oh, I sing the whole song.
I don't care who's wrong or right. I don't really want to fight anymore.
It's time to let it go. Yeah. Oh, man. Legendary Tina Turner. Can't say enough. You know, I always remember the movie that Angela Bassett played, displaying her life.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah. What love got to do with it? Great job on her behalf and representing Tina Turner. Tina Turner, it was so selective because I didn't hear from her in a while.
Yeah,
all of a sudden now,
it's been a while. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think she relocated to Switzerland. She relocated,
years ago, actually, a long time
years
ago.
Years ago, and she's a legend of rock and roll. That's all I can say. Female legend of rock and roll, because Tina Turner, those who don't know, been singing since the 60s. I mean 50s. Tina Turner been singing since the 50s. Yeah. And as she's been singing since the 50s, her legacy continued. She had a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Tina Turner. She continued her music journey, even without Ike. Her music journey continued in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Her legacy continued with her just great music. Great music. The woman, the legendary living, the woman the legend has went through a lot during her early days of living. Went through a whole lot of drama, went through a whole lot. But what I admire her about is how she prevailed. And although she was going through some turmoil in her life and going through some landmines that she had to jump over, she still carried on, and she still prevailed despite what she was going through. And as time went on, she just continued a journey of making great, one thing with the music, great, timeless, classic music that will live forever. You play Tina Turner in 2023 and beyond. Her music speaks for herself. So condolences to her family, and rest in power to the legendary Tina Turner. Yes.
I want to list off some of her accomplishments.
Yes.
3 American Music Awards, 7 Billboard Awards, 8 Grammy Awards, 3 Grammy Hall of Fame, 1 Grammy Special Award. But if you count up all of her accomplishments and wins, she has about 160 plus.
Whew.
Who can say that?
Yeah.
Yes. And, they're naming all of them. I couldn't name all of them. That's too much. But it's
yeah.
She did. Let's see if we're gonna count up her catalog. I see she has about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 studio albums. For the most part, people know, her main songs that she's known for: "Rolling on a River."
Yes.
Proud Mary.
Yes.
The Best. Simply the best.
Better
than all the rest. Yeah. So, just to name a few, and Nutbush City.
I heard that song on the movie. Yeah. Nutbush. Yeah.
It's I'm proud of Tina, man.
Yeah, me too.
She still performed well into her 60s, man. She still was on stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's like I admire that. Like, not only just like performed, like she danced and everything.
Yes. In the 60s with the people, she was well admired for her legs and the way how she moved. Yeah. I remember because she young kid, yeah.
Because she was known for wearing that tassel dress that when she spun, the tassel
move up. Yeah.
So, she inspired, she inspired Beyonce. I think everybody knows that one.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
That's the biggest one right there.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would also say that she inspired, even though I would say she also inspired Janet. I don't hear Janet talk about Tina, but I'm sure Janet definitely was inspired by Tina, but you definitely hear
For
about,
sure.
Beyonce talks about Tina all the time. So
yeah. That's a given. Yeah, man.
It is. So once again, rest in peace to Tina Turner. Condolences to her family. And long live Tina, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. We lost 2 legends within the same 7 days. That's crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
Same generation.
Yes. Yeah.
Same generation, same era.
Yes.
You know, two of our, like, wow. So we're gonna transition into our main topic. Zacchaeus inspired this topic, mainly talking about what inflation has done for the world as a whole. But what we wanted to do is take it from this approach. We all know what everybody has to go through in terms of gathering as many resources as they can, whatever's left, because it's not like there's a whole bunch to go around. And I'm not saying it to be negative. But what I'm saying is, at a time like this, what you better be thankful for what you have, and also be grateful for what you don't have, because there's probably a stress to that you can't handle. Only God knows, right? God knows, right? So everything has been about individualism, and like Dr. Umar said, and I agree with him, Eurocentric individualism, and not about the Afrocentric collective work that some of us have been known to do before slavery and since slavery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not only in America, but in the world. And so the standards and prerequisites to build a family is going to have to adjust to the state of the economy. Okay. Otherwise, you might as well just throw out the baby with the bathwater. And I'm not ready to do that. I know, brother, and I know, Zacchaeus, you're not ready to do that, and you're a married man with family.
Yes, no, not at all.
So, I still believe and I still have hope. So, it's going to take prudent women and prudent men. Men are mostly prudent by nature, because we all know that if we spend too much money, ain't nobody saving us, and we can't eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There is no rescue squad for a man, especially not a black man, right? Who doesn't run anything in the nation as far as government per se, right?
Right.
So wise men and women drop this. One income is going to take care of the family thing. That's not going to work for the average everyday person right now. It's not working.
Right. Not one income. One income.
Go ahead, Zach. Go ahead.
One income, especially depending on how much you make, one income is going to let you live check to check. There's people that are living check to check and don't know and this is what happens too when you don't leave, when you try to save it, because of the cost of living and inflation is so high, you try to put some money away, but you wind up, by the time you get ready to put that money away, something comes up. Some car payment come up, or a bill come up, something comes up. So the average person, you're telling the average person to make check to check, now you're putting them in desperate mode now. Because when it comes to being desperate and not knowing how you're gonna feed your family, you're living check to check, and you have only one income coming in, that right there is a recipe for people just losing their minds. Because we know that when inflation, things are up. They got some businesses, not the name of food, but I'm not gonna even name them. There are some businesses. They're using the inflation term just to raise their prices. And
I will name them. Please allow me to name them.
Name them.
I'll name them right now.
Yes.
Insurance. all insurance.
Boom.
Health, life, auto, home.
Yes.
Stop me when I don't say something that ain't true.
That's a fact. Those are facts.
You know, first of all, me and you are both homeowners.
Yes.
And we both got cars.
Yes.
Right? and we both have health insurance, right?
Yes.
Okay, so our benefits cost more. And me and you are working people, hardworking brothers.
Yes.
So, yes, they are using the inflation. I mean, we can name other, but I'm just naming things that are impacting people today.
Today, yes.
That they have to pay. And then, yes, we can go into the cost of food and the cost of living. Absolutely. But the insurance companies are actually keeping it very honest. And they're saying that the reason why your premium is higher is because of inflation.
Yeah. And that's a fact. That's a fact. They're running with not only they're running with it, and they could run with it, and now people, middle class, hardworking people, are getting affected by it because once you pay your insurance, what happened to the rest of your bills? They act like you don't have other bills. They act like you don't have to feed yourself and your family, whoever you live with. They act like, well, that's the only bill that there is.
They act like you got a raise.
Yes, that's what they act.
When you didn't. Because most jobs, I'll hand the mic back to you. Most employment has not been able to keep up with the rising price. So it's not like, so here's what's happening. If you're on your place of employment, or if you need a second job, because that's how it is for some people need a third job. By the time you get more, you're asking for more money, not so you could buy a Gucci bag and a Fendi purse. It's so you can cover it's so you can cover the raise of the rising prices of the bills that you were already paying for several years.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
And what they do is when you're making payments, and you figure that it's fixed payments. What they're doing is they're having little sneaky raises on the bill that you receive every month.
Yeah, them fees.
So the fees. And then when they try to explain it to you, when you contact them, they say, well, sir, they try to come with all kind of excuses why they raise your bill. And yet you're like, logically, it don't make sense. They're raising their bills, and they said when they raise, and then when you look at it, when you open up the envelope and you look at that bill, you say to yourself, "Well, I know I didn't use extra." And they say, "Well, oh, sir, we just added these are added fees to it," and you're like, "So it's also inflation is what's making these certain companies." Squeeze the middle class pockets, dry you, squeeze your pockets, squeeze it out like it's water, and make it dry to the bone. And that's exactly what they're doing. And in certain cities, they're taking advantage of it, and they're running with it.
Yeah.
And in the hardworking class, it seems like they listen. Is a complaint? Yes. And then what makes it? And then what's crazy about it? All these government, certain governors talking about, I'm running for presidency, and then when you go to the elections, now they all want you to vote, and you say to yourself, well, what if I have you say I have a voice, but when I am making noise, you're not hearing me. Yeah. When I am making noise and I'm screaming that this is too high and the cost of living is too much, maybe you're not hearing me. And when I can't pay my rent, and me and you, Fifth, we know New York City, right? I was looking online and I went to just curiosity, just to check out to see how much rent costs. A 1-bedroom in New York City right now, y'all, is $1,700 a month. That's almost $2,000. A 1-bedroom.
And we're talking about a small apartment, though. We're not talking about right.
Yes, something small. I know somebody now.
Maybe shy of 500 square feet.
Yes. And I know somebody right now that's living in a room paying $1,500 per month, and landlord telling me on the phone, this is a great deal. Paying $1,500 for a room, and you got to share, and you have to share with other tenants the kitchen and bathroom.
Now, opposing view, and I want you to push back on this.
Okay.
Now, you have those who are not from our city.
Yes.
Right? I currently live in Houston right now, but those who know me, I'm from New York, right?
Yes.
You have those who are not from our city that have saw movies and all the glitz and glam and Disney World fantasies about, oh, in New York, they pay you more in New York. Ladies and gentlemen, the cost of living is higher than what the city could pay the working class people. And on top of that, we have more taxes to pay in New York, okay? Now, I live in a state, Florida's the same way, Nevada, and maybe like 4 other states, maybe, where the only taxes that come out of your check is federal taxes. But in New York, you got to pay fed, city, and state.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
California can relate to that. Illinois can relate to that because they all got to do the same thing. Okay? So, other places, you pay state, you don't pay city, or you pay city and you don't pay state. See, okay? So, although your gross is what probably looks good to most people outside of New York, but then you need to ask what their net is, because your net is really what counts, because it's what you get.
Yes.
And your net has become smaller if your benefits cost more to pay. That's more coming out of your check.
Yes.
This is why people need higher salaries to compensate for the loss.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. And people, with the demand for high salary is at an all-time high. Yeah. You see people in our cities.
One more. I'm sorry. And if they can't get a higher salary, then the demands for overtime is at an all-time high.
Yes. Yes.
And a job has to have money to pay overtime.
Yes.
That's not free money.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Go ahead, Zach. Here, speak to that. Those people who don't understand, and they look at New York and L.A. and San Francisco, and say, "Oh, well, y'all should be able to handle that." Talk to them people.
It's the term called supply and demand is messed up, and you have to understand that when you're working and you're making wages, working. Right. It's not directly you're not. In other words, you can demand all you want. You can demand all you want, but the cost of living you're battling. So therefore, when you have a family, whether you live on your own, which is also as expensive to live on your own in New York City when you live by yourself, and it's also when you have a family, it's a battle. So those people that don't understand this, listen, when you're living in a city where the cost of living is extremely high, and every time you pay a bill, then you're wondering, you pay all your bills, and then by the time you get to the supermarket, now you gotta buy food.
There you go.
Now you gotta buy food. So
gas.
Gas. The cost when you gotta buy gas. You gotta go grocery shopping, which is right now the grocery shopping. 2 bags cost me over the other day. Cost me over $150 for 2 bags of groceries, and that's also taken away from your check too, because now when you just spend only just for 2 bags of groceries in the most expensive city, now you're wondering how am I going to live to pass? Because if you get paid bi-weekly, now you're wondering how you're going to get moved the next week, because the money that you got paid, you got to spread it out. And therefore, God forbid, if you have kids, now kids, school-age kids, and you know that school-age kids, now kids have cell phones you got to pay for.
They're growing. They need clothes.
They're growing.
Shoes.
They need clothes. They need shoes. Not only they need clothes and need shoes, but sometimes they're asking for snacks. When you're with them, when you're with your kids, sometimes they're asking for snacks, sometimes they're asking for, and you're like, wow, no, they're asking for you to give them money now. So you ask yourself, where is it that now that that all the high cost of living is here? So what is it that you got to do? Can you budget? People can barely save. Most people in certain cities, I would say most of them, okay, I gotta say, the hardworking middle class Americans, most of them don't even have at least $1,000 in the bank. Okay? And people say, oh, why don't you, when you have to save for an emergency, how could you? When the cost of living is extremely high, it's a battle to save. You can budget, but when you have a family, or when you have, let's say you live on your own, you're paying that high cost, and you live in an expensive city, and you're paying that high rent. Now you're wondering, like, well, how am I gonna make it through the next week with this kind of income that I'm making? What do I do? Some people say, oh, well, go get a second job. Yeah. So in other words, you're trading time for money, working extremely high. You have no rest for yourself. You can't even find yourself, because most of the time you're on a job. By the time you don't see nobody, because you're working two incomes, two jobs you're working, and it's very difficult. Just the other day, I ran to somebody, they want to know, in his mid-40s, telling me that I don't know what to do. I'm working this job, and I have this job, but I also, after 3:30, I got to run to the second job. Then by the time I finish at 11:30, I'm burned out. I need intervention. If you can help me get some kind of intervention to crack the code of not working so hard, working harder, not smarter, I need some intervention. Please, brother, let me know, because I don't even see my family. But yet, and I asked yourself, I said, ask them, and we agreed. He said, but yet they want us to vote.
Yeah, they demanded. How about that?
Yeah. Oh, vote. You have a voice. Well, I've been shouting loud and hard enough. And my answers are still not answered. What I'm requesting is still not answered. Shout all you want, but they're demanding you to vote and put them in office.
Well, we're gonna segue in. We're still on topic, but we had to lay the foundation for why I said that it's going to take two incomes. I'm talking about a man and a woman.
And a woman.
Now let's relate that to the world of dating. Well, I know many people have heard in this space, and I know it's kind of redundant, but hey, this is just how it is. I teach collective work. I do. I believe it takes a collective to have a successful relationship, especially a successful marriage.
Yes.
And having raising a successful family. And I'm not even talking about success on a dollar level. I'm just saying needs are met, everyone's taken care of. You know what I'm saying? And so that hasn't changed some of these some of the thinking of the women in this dating space. Men, there's a lot more pressure as times go on. There's a lot more pressure on hardworking men to just have more. Even though he's spending so much money on himself, not because he lives above his means. He's within his means, but the means have gone up. Okay? So, the needs have gone up. So he needs more means to meet the needs.
Needs, right.
Right? So, this is not stopping women from saying, well, I don't care how bad it's getting in the world. He better have that 100,000 or else. Well, 100,000 and up.
Right.
I'm hearing some women say, oh, now the man got to have 300,000 and up. For what?
Oh, to fund your riches, fund your demand, lifestyle. Fund your lifestyle. hair. Nothing wrong with doing your hair and nails, but now all of a sudden now you been paying your bills by your own. As a woman, you've been paying your bills by your own. But all of a sudden now you want him to be a Superman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To sweep you off your feet and cover all your bills. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody Bill Gates. So I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna play a woman who has some energy. You should definitely stay away from. Lord Jesus. I want y'all to hear this. Oh, why is it not playing? Oh, sorry, had it on mute. Let's go.
I feel like man should always make a way. I feel like I'm not gonna work my hands to the bones to provide. I'm not gonna work 16 to 20 hours a day or a week to provide for my family. You're the man. You have the penis. Go get a job. Get 3 jobs. My man has 2 jobs. Go get 7 jobs and 2 side hustles to buy me the things that I want because I'm a woman. Man.
I'm going to play it again. Maybe that was too fast for some people. I'm going to play it again. Lord help us.
Man should always make a way. I feel like I'm not going to work my hands to the bones to provide. I'm not going to work 16 to 20 hours a day or a week to provide for my family. You're the man. You have the penis. Go get a job. Get 3 jobs. My man has 2 jobs. Go get 7 jobs and 2 side hustles to buy me the things that I want because I'm a woman. Man.
I heard that loud and clear.
Go first, because I'm about to go off on this woman. Go first.
Buy me things because I'm a woman? What, she deserves a prize because she's a woman? Or because you're a woman, because you are a lady, you expect me to spend $300,000? You just give it to you? I barely know you, but yet you want me to give you all this money and pay and supply you to pay all your bills? Self-entitled person. Feel entitled, and the entitlement is very high, ladies and gentlemen. Oh gosh. Now you talk about just a person that just basically saying that, listen, I work, but you have to have, in order for you to be with me, you have to have this and that put in place. You gotta cover this and cover that. Yeah, give me $2,000, daddy. Give me $2,000. Excuse you? Why am I just giving you money and I don't even, first of all, like I said before, when it comes down to that kind of finances, we gotta be married. I'm not just giving you the bag. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Fifth.
This narcissistic demon said that you need to, I'm not going to work 16, 20 hours a day. Then she said, I'm not going to work 16, 20 hours a week. That's, first of all, 16, dang, baby, you can't even work part-time? What was you doing before you met the man? Because she said her man got 2 jobs?
2 jobs, yeah.
Baby, what was you doing before you got with the man with 2 jobs? Oh, I get it. She was with another man getting tricked off on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Women usually like this hop from one wallet to another wallet.
That's a fact. So
this woman has a very transactional mindset. I would ask who raised this woman, but I don't think anyone did.
Right.
To be fair, and to be a little quite slick with my mouth by saying that, I don't care. She didn't care about what anybody else was thinking when she said what she said.
Right.
And she said, I need you to go ahead and work these 7 jobs and buy me the things I want because I'm a woman. You're a woman who does what?
Facts. And they always talk about, well, what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table?
The only thing she has to bring to the table is a biological vagina. Okay, so I mean, there are a lot of biological. Lord, I'm sorry. There are a lot of biological vaginas walking around here.
Yeah,
but you're supposed to be the one that's supposed to get the prize per se, because you think you're a prize. Oh no, wait. She thinks she's a prize. She doesn't believe that two people are beneficial. She believes that she's the one. And she's sitting up here saying this in a panel in front of other women, and women are not. Well, I didn't see the rest of the interview, but I hope women challenged her on that and said, "Lady, you sound selfish." Also, she's making her man look bad. She really is. But then I would also say to that man, you got to know this is the woman you with, talking like that. She's talk like that to you. There's no way this is her first time talking like this away from him. I'm sure she's had that same attitude talking to him in this way.
Yeah.
I need you to if you want this sex, I need you to pay this money. So she's prostituting, you know. You know, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't care about what it seems, as long as she's getting what she wants at the end of the deal. That's the whole problem with the transactional relationship thing. I'm in this for what I can get. I ain't in this for what I can do for you. Go ahead, Zach. Go ahead, Zacchaeus.
But yeah, okay. You see, she said that her man worked 2 jobs, right?
Yep.
Most women like that, they don't care about his well-being because
no.
Do you think that he likes working 2 jobs?
I'm sure physically his body gets sick because he's working too much.
No, yes. And that's a fact. You're not, obviously that you're struggling because you're working 2 jobs. You're not you don't have a care and a word for him, because if you had a care for your man, that you so called have a man, you would add on to his income, meaning that you would say, honey, I'm gonna roll my sleeves up too, and I'm gonna hustle and get so we can both put our income together. So you're okay sitting on your, I'll get what's in style now, your fat spread, sitting down on the sofa while this man work and work to death, while you sit there watching the reality TV, loving hip hop, or Alabama, or what's it called, Huntsville, Alabama. So you're sitting down,
Housewives watching, of Potomac.
Exactly.
Housewives of Atlanta. Loving hip hop.
Exactly. Yeah. You're watching all these programs, but yeah, he's busted his son. By the time he get home, he's burnt out. And then this is what you're doing. Collecting this money. You think you love living like that?
No.
Ask yourself that. Ask him, honey, are you happy? Ask him what his answer would be for you. You think anybody likes working 2-3 jobs? Especially if they gotta fund you. They gotta put their money towards you and say, okay, you gotta show some kind of appreciation.
Let me can I say this real quick?
Yeah.
I used to work with a woman who some years ago, probably maybe almost 5 years ago. I worked with a woman who the husband had one income, but when they had relocated to Texas, that's when things got a little tight. So she couldn't just, and they got kids, so she couldn't just live under his means the same way she did when they were living somewhere that didn't cost them as much, right?
Right.
So she got a part-time job, but she was happy to work. You know why? Because she was able to, when everything went everywhere, she was like, good, now I'll work. I don't mind working. My the husband paid pretty much everything, but what she wanted to do was have money for herself, but then also have money for her children. So she worked. She worked as hard as she could, to the capacity she could, but not to the point where she's like stressing herself out because she was part-time. And she got joy and fulfillment out of her being able to do for her kids. You see what I'm saying? And it made things easy on him because he was gonna do it, but at least he has some money for himself. So she worked the job. She worked a job so that her husband can have more money for himself because he never could because everything was going towards the family.
Right. That's a person that's a homemaker. That's what you call a homemaker.
Yeah.
And somebody not just looking out for themselves. They're thinking about her family. Yes.
I'll tell you some more. This man, I remember her telling me this. So things were good, right? Well, at least I'll just say things were how he had it, but he never complained. I think one day she was like, "Hey, it's been a while since you bought you, a nice pair of sneakers," and he was like, "I can't." And she heard that one too many times, and she said, "You know what? I appreciate you for being the best husband in the world because you take care of me and our family, and you don't complain. I'm gonna get me a job so that you could buy yourself a pair of sneakers, or I could buy you a pair of sneakers." Fellas, marry that freaking woman if you ever find that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
That's what you call a helpmate, okay?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That got to be celebrated more.
Yes.
Speak on that, Zacchaeus.
They have some women that will roll up their sleeves and say, "Honey, just work that one job because I got us covered with this other income I'm making. And there's a lot of guys, quite a few of them that they want the hoochie mama, meaning the girl that looks dressing scantily clad and thing poking out here and thing poking out there. They desire that. But as time goes on and they get to know them, they realize that they're self-centered and narcissistic, self-centered, and they just want me, things for myself to make me satisfied. But when you meet that gem, Feather, the gem is this: a woman that's willing to roll up her sleeves with you, work with you, and able to spend time with you too, and know that it's important that we physically see each other and spend time,
right?
And not work so much where I don't see you. All I'm doing is bringing the bag home or bringing the bag to you, and I'm not seeing you. But you see all this money, but now you're making. The crazy thing about working two jobs is you're seeing all this money come. Maybe you're seeing a little extra money come in, but you have no time to spend it. You have no time to enjoy it. You have no time to spend with. You don't even see your significant other. Why? You're working all the time. You're at work, 16-hour shifts, and then by the time you finish, you work another 16 hours. So by the time you finish, you work over 56 hours a week, 60 hours a week, not seeing no one, not interacting with just normally, because all your life is dedicated to just laboring. Yeah. And all this woman and all this self-centered woman can say is that, well, he can bring this back to me. I want to go shopping. I want to go here. That fool, he ain't even there to help you even go shopping. True. You spend it, he's not even there because he's busy working. And a lot of women like this, they don't see the big picture. They don't see the longevity of somebody that cares for them and working so hard to the bone, but all they can think about is the here and now. Well, honey, keep thinking about the here and now. We'll see where you're going to be a few years from now. Yes.
I don't like listen, you're an individual and you could voice whatever you want. That's fine. Is because you have the choice to hurt yourself, right? I don't advise it, but you do. What I don't like is when you start teaching it to others. One of the reasons why Ebony K. Williams had so much pushback on her stance is because when it came time for her to clean up her statement, she said that she called the particular income levels, even though she didn't name the price, but she just named particular jobs. And she said it wasn't good enough for her. Then her next statement was, and I don't think it's good enough for you either. Now, okay, suffer by yourself, but don't now teach everybody else to not respect the working man. I don't like that. So I don't like what the clip I played. I don't like what it's teaching women who don't know no better. There are a lot of women out here who don't have the that corrective voice that they should have when they're being raised. You know, there's a lot of, you know what, this is what I hold the older because biblically the older generation has to speak to the young ones. This is what me and you are doing, and me and you are from different times. But check this out. We still have to address and correct and also encourage those who are coming after us, okay? There's a lot of women with wisdom out here who are quiet, and they refuse to share their information and correct the younger generation that this is not the way to go. And what you're going to do is you're going to have a generation of individualism and no togetherness. And we're gonna lose our families, man. We can't afford to do that. We are in a position that I'm not small as it is.
Right.
Okay. So we can't afford a world where everything's just gonna be about one for self and that's it. That's no. And if you're a Christian woman, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Because you should not be having that mentality. Your mentality is to be a helpmate. Oh, yes, the right man of God knows what his role is supposed to be, and he will do it.
Right.
So I want to play another clip of a side of an argument that you don't hear. Let's play this.
Women who thinking they maybe wouldn't date a bus driver. I think that question sometimes is about the woman too. Well, maybe your money is long, but it's not that long. If you're bothered, if you can't help her into forever after, then that must mean that your money is not secure enough to the point that you still need his check. Maybe if you didn't need his check, then you could get a man who you would get other needs met with perpetually. So I'm just saying, sis, think these things through. That's all I'm saying.
Hey man, do we need to finish the conversation?
I'll play it again for the audience. I know that probably caught a lot of people by surprise. That is not common at all. I never hear this side of the argument from either men or women, and this is a woman who said this. Shout out.
Yeah.
This is good.
Women who thinking they maybe wouldn't date a bus driver. I think that question sometimes is about the woman too. Well, maybe your money is long, but it's not that long. If you're bothered, if you can't Oprah and Stedman your way into forever after, then that must mean that your money is not secure enough to the point that you still need his check. Maybe if you didn't need his check, then you could get a man who you would get other needs met with perpetually. So I'm just saying, sis, think these things through. That's all I'm saying.
Hey man, do we need to finish the conversation?
Oh, Zacchaeus, you have the floor.
Okay. Now she was talking about just everything that goes against a hardworking man. Now, she's a woman that you could tell that I could bet you $1 that this young lady still hasn't found her shining armor yet. She still hasn't found that one to supply her needs. And a lot of women they have that kind of, I won't say a lot. I'll just say some women have that mentality that
you're referring to the woman. You're referring to the woman that she's speaking on, not the actual speaker.
Not the actual speaker, yeah. The woman that she's speaking on,
right.
Yes.
The woman that she's speaking on. Go ahead.
Yes. And they demand a lot of things, but yet they have nothing else in return to offer. You demand a lot of stuff. Demand is high, but in the return, is slim. You know what they usually say? Women like that? When you ask them, okay, I'm bringing all of this. I'm bringing all of this. I'm bringing that. I'm bringing all of this. They turn around and say, no. What? So yeah, just out of curiosity, you ask them. You know what they'll say? I'm just bringing me. Listen. I'm just bringing me. I'm the prize. I'm the lady. I'm bringing me. And that's all fine and dandy. But can you help me? Can you be by my side when I need your support? Can you add on instead of being a subtraction? Can you add on to me? Can you add on? Can you be an add-on? Can you cling on to me? Are you a person that you have to have a lot of budget? Can you help me financially? Can you help me with budgeting or just be a helpmate? Or it's just about me, self-centered, me. And that seems like the lady that she's speaking about, like I said before, have a whole lot of, well, this is what you can do for me. This is what I want you to do for me. Why is it that when you're talking about a mate, it's what he can do for you? Not, you don't even talk about his character aspect, or when you meet somebody, his character or how he treats you. The first thing you can think about is the bag.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because the women that you're speaking on, they don't have any character either. See, you can't look for character when you don't have it yourself. Come on.
Hello. That deserves a bomb. Anyway.
Yeah, you know what? Look, I got more. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I once had a conversation with a woman, right? And I asked her, I said, hey, what are things that you require in a man in terms of character? She was able to name some. Okay, I will give her that.
Okay.
She was able to name some. This woman just so happens to be a sweet, kind woman, as far as I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And seems respectful in her speech to men, right? Which is good, right?
Yeah.
She started naming things. She named things like respectful, thoughtful, appreciative.
Yes.
Someone who is patient.
Mm-hmm.
A very caring person, sharing person, right? And then I didn't even ask this question, but then she asked, none of my exes were any of those.
Wow.
I said, then if they were none of those, and that is something that you require and want and essentially need, why did you date those men? Was it because of all physical attraction? She said, I don't make my decisions on relationships and how I deal with men just on the attraction. I said, but it had to be because everything that you said you wanted, asked for, and need, and some of that you are yourself, you said they weren't your exes. So you may want something, but it's what you're attracted to is what you really overall made your decision on.
Yeah. Yes.
So you need to make sure that your requirements are also, your requirements should be what's attractive.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand. And like I said before, to like you said about those who want character, though, you were speaking on women. You said, why is it that some of these women, right, these modern women, that when they ask for what they want in a man, it never includes character. You know why? Because they themselves don't have character. So you can't ask for character if you don't have it either.
Boom. Boom. There you go. There you go. There you go.
I think that went over some people's heads, but they'll get it someday.
Yeah. And
So,
listen. Yeah.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, brother.
Listen, and you're 100% right. Because if you have no character and you have, and all you can think about is material things, but yet you have no character for a man to even desire to even be around you.
Yeah.
Why? Because your conversations are like always about the bag, about your conversation. You can't give him good conversation. You can't give him intellectual. If he has even like being around you.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be attractive. And it's one thing to be sexy, attractive, and good looking. Yes. But it's another thing when you have no character and you treat people like dirt and you're nasty and you're conceited. And you want to know, well, how come my knight in shining armor hasn't come yet? Because I'll tell you why he hasn't come yet. Which quite a few people ignore this trait. Character. Now, Dr. King said, you judge a person by the content of their character. Character, it speaks a lot. And if you have no character, can he enjoy your company? Because because the priorities are all messed up. You first talk about how much he's bringing. Not saying that money is not important, but if you just emphasize on that, and you just emphasize on that, the hardworking man would see that, and the rich man didn't see that. Mm-hmm. And you know what they're gonna say? I'm not bringing her home. If you have the mother still here, I'm not bringing her home to mama. I'm just going to get the cookie and bounce.
Yeah, because that's what she's offering anyway.
There you go.
Can I add this
Kaboom.
to it?
Yes.
Can I add this to it to help with that point? Matter of fact, let me drop a bomb on that one. Let me go ahead because that's drop a bomb for my brother right there.
Yes.
Here's the thing. This is very important. I just want to make sure we nail the topic correctly before we end this off. We have an inflation, and at the same time, you're trying to date. You're trying to that could lead to marriage, that could lead to a family, right? So there's this argument going on, and that is a man shouldn't date if he doesn't have a dating budget. I agree.
I agree. Yeah.
There's that. If a man can't provide the bare necessities is food, shelter. If the man can't provide food, and these bare necessities are nothing to sneeze at. Okay? They are very important.
Yes.
This is what keeps you safe. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They say if a man can't do that, then he shouldn't be married. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I would also say, for the average everyday person, what's better than one income? Two. Especially if they have the same view as you.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and this is what I'll say. Sonny Houston said, Sonny Houston said on The View, and she was talking to the women on The View. She was the only black woman on the show at the moment. Whoopi Goldberg was not on television that day. And she named off, she said black women are becoming more educated when really it just means they're more enrolled in school. Right. She said black women are becoming more educated, and it's kind of hard for the typical, I mean, for some black women to date the bus driver. And then so that our kids can get into the best schools and live in the best neighborhoods, because that's all she was caring about. And then Joy Behar said, but what if he's the best father? She goes, but we're not talking about the best father. We're talking about generational wealth. Wait a minute. Shouldn't the father come before we talk about generational wealth? Because the best father is going to make sure that he is going to create a path for his kids for generational wealth. I don't understand this. The Bible says a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children. So of course he got that. Ye of little faith, you. Okay? This is why men need to be with women who have the faith the size of a mustard seed. Okay, I hope I said that scripture right, because I'm freestyling right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously greater than that, right? You know, faith without works is dead, right? We do know that.
Yes.
So what's wrong with you being a helpmate and what the husband needs at the time? A man's income and lifestyle could change at different times.
Yes.
If you're in your marriage, year one, he needs you to work some hours.
Right.
Not overtime, just regular hours. Okay? Because there's things that both of y'all need to build so that y'all could retire when you're old, right? That's the whole
right.
Goal.
That's the goal.
You work hard when you're young, so you don't have to work as hard when you're older, right?
Right.
So that happens. Year 3. You know, he might not need your income as much.
Right.
You know, because he got a raise. But you were working too, so you got a raise too.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with that money? Are you putting it aside? Or you putting it in savings because you need savings? Or are you spending all that money on a Birkin bag?
Yeah.
Right?
Chanel. Yeah.
Exactly. You know. So then, you know, God forbid the husband has an injury. He can't work like he used to until he heals up. So now he's gonna need you to pull in more of your end of the bargain. Are you willing to do that? Well, if you were a helpmate, you would. I think today's modern women, with feminism and everything that is run rampant, they have taught them that you should no longer be a helpmate, but you should find a man who is a helpmate.
Wow.
Zacchaeus, that is out of order.
Totally out of order. So, like I said before earlier in this video, a pimp and prostitution. In other words, you're giving it everything, you're giving up everything, and all because he has what he possesses. Not knowing that just because I'm just turning me off. And you're turning me off because you don't see me rocking all these fancy stuff you see me rocking. But yet I'm making the money. But and then by the way, and why you with me? Because of money and because of my status, you're not genuine. So if I had nothing, which most women do. They when you have some women do. When you have nothing, they just walk on by like they never even heard you. Don't even hello, not even a hello, or a spook out their mouth, not even. And that's the generation we're living in. Self entitlement is huge, and that's what we're dealing with. Me, give me. No, let me meet each other halfway and go halfway and half. It's always about me. And with that self-centered attitude, trust me, he's gonna look at that, take it for what it is, and say, you know what? Now he's making plans for you. You know what kind of plans he's making for you? Pump it up and bounce. That's the plans he has. Out. That's it.
Now, I gotta before we go, I want to ask you this question, man. Mm-hmm. Do you think with the current economy that today's everyday woman is not considerate of what the man has to do, even though the man will still do it? As men, we will still find a way.
Yeah.
Even if the date probably takes longer to have it, instead of me asking you out to go out next week, I gotta ask you 2 weeks from now because I gotta save up money, right?
Right.
Let's go out sometime 2 weeks from now, right?
Right.
That man will pay that dinner if he feels that woman is worth it, right? He will.
He will.
He'll pay that dinner. He'll get everything right. His place, his car, looking, everything, clothes, everything smelling good.
Yeah.
All that. He'll pay for all of that. Mm-hmm. And now now you're at the date. And now he got to pay for his meal and yours, right? The question is, ladies, knowing that a man has to. Knowing what a man has to do, because if it was in your shoes, would you pay for the date? No.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you being more considerate of the man's money and his time? Are you going to appreciate this? Because let me tell you something. You are not owed anything because you're like that woman earlier talking about garbage. You are not entitled to anything because you're a woman. Miss Thing.
Right.
It is a privilege for a man to provide and protect for you.
Right.
Okay.
It'd be a privilege, yes.
It's a privilege of marriage for both people.
Right.
We both come out of this privilege. Okay. I asked, you said yes. We walked down the aisle together and made a promise before God and our family. So we both are privileged because God said, "He who finds a man, a man who finds a wife finds a good thing, and obtains favor from the Lord." That's a privilege. That's a privilege over the single man.
Yes.
That's what God was trying to tell us.
Yes.
Okay. Now, but that's a privilege because that's a choice. Anything that's a choice is a privilege.
Yes.
It's not a right. So the thing is, is the appreciation going to be there? That's all men are asking for, especially now with everything going up.
Yes.
My dollar doesn't stretch like it used to before this inflation. And I want to remind people, inflation has been going on for at least 20 years. It's been longer than what we see. It's just that we're seeing more of the effects now. But inflation has been going on for at least 20 years.
Yes, at least that. Yes.
Okay. 20 years. Right? Things have been too expensive in most major cities for over 20 years, probably longer than that.
Probably longer than that, yes.
Okay, but I'm just going off of what I'm going off of right now, okay?
Right.
So I'm sorry, I'm long-winded as heck. The question is, my original question was supposed to be, Do you think that today's modern women are considerate of a man's budget when going out on dates?
The answer to that is no.
Speak more.
The reason why I say no, because automatically they judge you by what you drive. They just look at, they don't even actually, they think you just have money. And because if they have some kind of inclination that you have some kind of money, they will never ask. They will never ask. And bigger to some of the women out there that work with them, man, and realize that, yo, this is inflation going on. I'm not trying to break your pocket because I know you got other. That's being considerate. Some people are not considerate. They rather choose the most expensive spot to go to. And then when they choose the most expensive to go to, then when you tell them no, here comes the tantrum. Here comes the pouting. So the modern day woman, as far as the modern day woman being concerned about a man's pocket, I would say no, and I can stretch it out even more. The reason why I say no, because remember, you're dealing with a person that's self-centered. If they're not even thinking of you, they're definitely going to be, all they're going to do is concerned with them. So automatically, they don't care if you have to pay so much. They don't care if you have rent to pay. They don't care if you have anything kind of payments. They're not trying to work with you. They'll just downright choose the most expensive place and say, okay, look pretty and say, okay, I'm going to choose this place to go hang out. That's charging extremely high in costs, but they'll choose it, not being in no way concerned about your pockets, not knowing how he's going to pay for this. They automatically think that you have money. Some people, when they look at you, they automatically say, listen, and they act the fool. They want you to cover this, cover that on their behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that because of the demands of the to make an everyday living, what economically things are going on as far as what's required of you just to survive, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that some of the women are maybe demanding too much, from a typical man? Or could it just be that the average woman and below average woman doesn't really care for the typical man anyway? So this is why they're asking for the man who got more bank. Doesn't mean they're going to get them, because most of these women don't get these men.
Right.
Okay.
Right,
because they
right.
don't exist, And the lie is a lot of women that are out here making it seem like they got a whole bunch of money. That's a lie.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out what all these wealthy women are. I mean, the last time I checked, when I looked at the stats, it was under the men. So I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just trying, and you know what it is? A lot of women dress nice when they go out in public, but a lot of them may still live at home with their parents, live with a whole bunch of roommates, or their apartment got a mattress that's on the floor with no bed sheets.
Right. See? Yeah.
You know how you know? Because these women be taking selfies and don't realize the bed is in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're gonna have to end this off. But let me also put something on the men real quick, fellas. You got fellas. You know that your time and your money are the two resources that you value the most. You have to vet better.
Yes.
It's imperative that you vet better.
Yes.
You're in a lose-lose situation if you don't. Don't just take a woman out to Ruth Chris.
Yeah.
Because she got a fat butt and a smile. She is going to take you for everything you own. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please get you a prudent woman. I know this is hard because I get it. People say it ain't tricking if you ain't got it. But But I'm talking to my everyday man, and this is my final thought. I'm talking to my everyday man out here. No matter how much money you make, whether you are poor, working class, upper middle class, rich, please draw the line somewhere. Okay, teach these young cats coming up that you matter too. Right? Especially the average earning brother. And ain't nothing wrong with being an average earner, man.
Yeah.
As long as you live within your means, don't buy a $100,000 car and you make $50,000 a year. Don't do it.
Don't do that, dude. No.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
You got a car note higher than your rent. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Okay? So be very careful who you approach. And Zacchaeus said this once. He said, listen to a woman talk long enough and she will tell on herself.
Yes, that's a fact. Yeah.
Okay? So don't be so weak and doing everything for the sake of sex that you lose yourself, man. This is my advice for the fellas, because a lot of fellas are being taught you're not a man until you have 10 women you slept with, 20 women you slept with.
Right.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
Young man, you are valuable. Okay? And you know what? As long as you have Christ in your life, driving the ambition, you will never be broke.
No.
I land my plane here. Zacchaeus, take over.
Yeah, my final plane is, fellas, if you're gonna date, and like what, if she's gonna say it, believe her. If she's acting like a gold digger, believe her. Talking like it, believe her. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore these signs. And if you with somebody that's genuine and not always about money, and I just want to grow with you and build with you and connect with you, that's my final thought. That's the connection. That's my final thought. Make sure that you have if you're gonna seek somebody, make sure that that person is willing to. The saying goes, rub pennies together, rub them together, support each other, and that's my final thought. Yes.
All right, Zacchaeus, let them know where they can reach you, man.
You can hit me up at Zacchaeus Music on Instagram, Wayne Backus 167 on Facebook, at Wayne Backus 2 on Wayne Backus 2 on Twitter, also TikTok as well. Check me out, y'all. Yeah.
All right, y'all can reach me at the Fifth General, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right, y'all. This was another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth.
And Fifth, yeah.
All right. We'll see y'all next time.